is they would do these video segments with artists called Over Under, and so that's what we're gonna play today is Over Under. And what it is I will give you something, whether it's just like one word or a scenario or something, and then you have to tell me if it's overrated or underrated. Okay. And those are your only two options. Okay. So it's no, don't be a wimp and be like, it's rated perfectly fine. Just, is it overrated or is it underrated? And a short explanation why. If you can just sometimes be like, because that's how I feel. But I don't know. But I think it makes it more fun if you explain a little bit.
All right.
So, Over Under with Mr. Hudson Hubbard. Here we go. Number 1, going to the beach.
Overrated.
Why?
Everybody does it.
Not people with skin problems. I don't think they do. But
yeah, that's true.
Not vampires.
That's true.
How about e-scooters? Like a bird or a lime, like an electric scooter.
Oh,
like in a big city, you rent one and you just like ride it around and then you toss it and.
Oh, overrated.
Why do you feel like so overrated?
Get off the sidewalk.
Well, that's the funny thing. They're technically supposed to ride on the street, but if you ride on the street, then people almost hit you in their car. So it's a no-win situation.
Right.
I have one of those scooters.
Oh, really?
No, but I totally understand. I get it. I know a lot of people who hate them. How about Metallica?
Overrated. Iron Maiden all day, every
I
day.
knew you liked Iron Maiden. See, that's the thing is I was like, so many people would be like, Metallica, they're fucking great, they're underrated. I'm like, hey, you can get a Metallica t-shirt at Target or Walmart. They're right. Like, everybody knows about them.
And what's funny now is because of this past season of Stranger Things, there's so many young girls now who are like, Metallica! And you're like, what?
And then all they know is Master of Puppets.
Yeah.
Truth be told, I've never done a deep dive on Metallica. I know that they have good music, like if you like metal, especially from that era. But I'm not a huge fan of 80s and 90s metal. Like that's not, so that's just not as much my thing. If I'm gonna listen to metal, it's either gonna be like earlier metal, like 70s kind of stuff, or like 90s and after. For some reason, I don't like the 80s. The hair metal stuff scared, me.
Yeah.
How about fish tacos?
I'll go with underrated. I'll say underrated because you don't hear a lot of people, I guess, probably around this area, even though we do have good fish taco places, really go, hey, for lunch, I'm going to go have a fish taco. And I'm not really a person who also does that, but they're good. I like them.
I don't think I've ever eaten a fish taco.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think maybe tilapia. Maybe I had that, but Hamilton the musical.
So many people are going to kill me for this, but overrated.
Yes! I was hoping you'd say that. I mean, honestly, give me why. Like, why do you feel? You could probably do like an hour on this, but...
Yeah, no, I've talked to my sister about it because she loves it.
Yeah.
And so...
My wife loves it. She's obsessed.
My personal opinion is, and I'm a huge history buff. Yeah. When I watch something for historical context, I want it to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
And that's just how I'm always going to have.
Are there liberties taken with this? I mean, I assume there's some, but
it's just the whole the stylized pieces itself. It's just
so it's like they're making up situations that might not have actually happened,
right? And
they're like, because it's like they might not have actually talked to them and said that. Or, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Not a lot of actual historical evidence to like back up everything in it.
Right.
Probably.
And I'm not saying it's not a good piece of art, but me as a historian or a historical buff, I'm sitting there going like, I'd rather watch, Hamilton on HBO.
Yeah. No, I get it. I'm not a fan of the musical theater voice. Mm-hmm. We know it's a very perfect kind of sound that like people make their. And Hamilton's annoying because it's people rapping, but they're doing it in the musical theater voice. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't sound like rapping to me. Right. It's because the musical theater voice is always too articulate, and it's just like, I mean, I'm like, that's not how, anyway. That's just how I feel, is that I'm like, I don't think that people love it, so good on them, they make money. Pineapple on pizza.
I think underrated. I would say underrated. Okay.
We're on the same wavelength on that. Do you ever order it, or is it just?
I don't order it, but I mean, if it's there in front of me and I'm allowed to have a piece, I'll eat it.
You're not allowed to have that. Yeah. Next we have Adam Sandler.
Okay, so I think maybe 2010, I would say overrated.
Yeah.
But now, because of some of the work that's coming out with him, I would say underrated.
Like Uncut Gems?
Uncut Gems. Yeah. He has another one that I just heard about that will be coming out where it's going to be kind of like Uncut Gems, but apparently it's going to be about the trading card society.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
And recently I've gotten into Magic the Gathering, and so I heard that and I was like, okay, I might have to watch that, because it's a very big deal.
Yeah.
You know, buying and selling those cards, because there's some very pricey ones out there.
It's crazy to me how Magic the Gathering is still like around now, because it like my brother played it in like 2005, you know, and I didn't think it would last, because most games like that haven't really, you know.
Right.
Even, I mean, Pokemon, it's crazy because I was at like a McDonald's or something a few years ago, and like Pokemon cards were being given as like the toy in a Happy Meal, and I was like, as a kid, I would have, looking back on them, like they have no value then. Like if they're in a Happy Meal, you know.
Right.
I remember stores in the mall when I was a kid that were just Pokemon cards, and because it was so popular in the late '90s that there were, you know, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars for some cards. But anyway, playing golf.
Overrated. There's a lot of people around here that play too much golf.
And also, here's how I feel. It's kind of a weird use of resources, because like they always have to make the grass like kind of perfect, and which requires a lot of water, and like that's so much land that I'm always like, well, if there's no one out there, you know, on certain days and everything, I'm just like, I wish I could just like walk it, or, you know. I have been on a golf course at night when it was like closed down. It's one of the most fun places to be, because you're just like perfectly manicured, and it's pretty.
Now, I will say that I do play golf.
Okay.
I haven't played in a while, but it is.
For some reason, I thought I remembered that you played golf, so I wasn't sure where that was going to go. But Shrek, like the movie.
The movie, underrated. Underrated. I would say the movie underrated. The musical, everything else, overrated.
I've never seen the musical or heard any music. I feel like I would hate it, though.
I think that very first movie was something, you know, else. You know, we were supposed to have Chris Farley voice Shrek.
Really?
Oh yeah. You can go on YouTube and listen to the recordings, because they recorded the whole movie with him.
Did he have the accent though?
He did not. It was like his voice as Shrek, and so you're sitting there going like, what? And then he passed away, and so they got Mike Myers to come and do it, and Mike Myers didn't want to do anything like what he had voiced, so he was like, I'm going to give him a Scottish dialect. And there we have Shrek.
I think that worked. I mean, it was kind of random, but I think it, you know, the dialects were all over the place in that movie, because like Lord Farquaad, I think, spoke like with an American, like it wasn't really British, was it?
It's like American posh accent.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was. Like a lot of pick number 3, my lord. It's like that's kind of British, but it's like a really weird cartoony British. Anyway, last one, dancing like nobody's watching.
Like, if I'm just dancing and nobody's watching.
Feeling yourself, and you're just dancing like nobody's watching.
Underrated. I feel like I should do it more. I feel like in college we used to do it all the time, you know. And
I don't know. I'm not big on dancing. I love drumming, but I, for whatever reason, am just like because I think here's what it is. If I was in the right environment where people were letting you actually like be who you are, but half the time it's just like, well, everyone in this room's grinding on each other, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. That's not my form of dancing, you know. But that's why I didn't like going to dances in high school. Was that it was so popular, basically, to just be like, well, your date's gonna be bent over in front of you during this, you know, this whole like 2 hours of hip hop songs, and I'm like, that's not what I enjoy doing though. That's just, I don't know. It feels like a weird ritual that we used to have, you know. I'm sure they still have it. But anyway, that was just like a fun way to, you know, kind of get your opinions on some stuff so people can get to know the real Hudson.
Yeah.